It gives me great pleasure, Congress, to introduce Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the Labour Party. I have to say it's great to see such a full hall. If only the hall had been this full from 10:30 this morning, but I completely understand why it wasn't. But it is great that Jeremy is here to lead off on the election campaign. We are very honoured to have him here. He is leader of the Labour Party, leader of the opposition. He's been a member of Parliament for Islington North since, I need the glasses for this, but since 1983, and his political career began when he's elected to Haringey Council in 1974. I have been fortunate enough as STUC President to have met Jeremy on a number of occasions, and I have absolutely no doubt that he will be very clear in his message to the Congress this morning and to the media across Scotland. Thank you very much. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for delaying your lunch in order that I can speak to you today. I'm really grateful to you for that. And to be here in Aviemore at the STUC is something very, very special to me, because the STUC has a wonderful tradition of fighting for the working people of Scotland and influencing public debate on behalf of working people. It's been at the forefront of social progress in Scotland. It's the collectivism of the trade union movement through working people fighting alongside each other that has always been and always will be the driver of great progressive change in Scotland and in the rest of the UK and across the world. And no more so is the case of the inspiring young activists involved in the Better Than Zero campaign. Their vibrant and engaging action is a shining example of modern trade unionism, carrying on the historic fight in a system still rigged against working people. But that fight is one we have all collectively committed to, and continue to do so because, friends, it works, and we won't let anyone tell us otherwise. It's trade unions that have driven up wages and living standards, health and safety in the workplace, and challenged prejudice and discrimination, as you were just doing in the motion that you just carried. And it's unions that have worked with ourselves in the Labour Party to transform our society, to offer the opportunities to our people that so many of our forefathers, and especially our foremothers, unfortunately did not enjoy. They are our heroes. It was our predecessors who suffered exploitation in the workplace and wider society. It was they who were not prepared to stand idly by, who instead chose to fight back and win many of the gains that we enjoy today. Our National Health Service, our social security safety net, our education system, and so much more were won on the shoulders of these giants in the labour and trade union movement. Let none of us ever forget from whence we came. The better we know where we're going to. Friends, that's why I could not be at a better or more appropriate place to start our general election campaign in Scotland. We're standing for the many, not the few. And it is through our collective power in a trade union that we ensure the many, standing together, have the power to stand up to the rich and the powerful few. The Labour Party will always cherish, sustain and protect our relationship with the trade union movement and the working people that all of you in this hall represent. You are our DNA, you are our family, and we will never, ever apologise for the closeness of our relationship with you. Friends, just like Keir Hardie, I'm proud to be a trade unionist. I carry my card with me wherever I go. I've been in the trade unions all my life, and I will die a trade unionist, because that is what I believe in. That's why one of the very first things we will do when forming our Labour government will be to repeal the Tory Trade Union Act. Giving working people the rights to collectively organise and make their lives better, safer and more content. With the timing of the election is unexpected, the choice is very, very clear and the stakes are very, very high. But let no one be in any doubt. We are in this election to win it, and we will fight for every seat in every corner of these islands. I said the other day that the dividing lines in this election could not be clearer from the outset. It is the Conservative Party, the party of privilege and the richest, versus the Labour Party, the party that is standing up for working people to improve the lives of all. That is the real choice. Only us or the Tories can form a government. And I implore people in Scotland to fight for the party of progress and not the vicious Tory party who, alongside their previous coalition partners, the Lib Dems, unleashed an unprecedented attack on the working people in this country. The choice facing this country at this election is clear. It's the people versus the powerful. Labour will challenge the rigged system that is holding our country back. In this election, Labour will offer hope to the nurse, the teacher, the small trader, the carer, the builder, the office worker, the bus driver, the factory worker, the farm worker, the factory worker in any situation. We will provide the change and the transformative policy programme that puts power and opportunity in people's hands. We will fight this election offering a positive vision for our country. We will present to the British people an economic and political alternative and a promise that we will make our country work for the many, not the few. We will make jobs better and more secure with a real living wage and stronger rights at work. We will end the public sector pay cap that disrespects our very committed public servants every day of the week. We will end the need for food banks in Britain. We'll upgrade our economy to create wealth for our people in the 21st century through investment in our infrastructure, helping our small businesses, delivering high-skilled jobs and ending poverty pay. We will never put tax giveaways to the corporations and the wealthiest above our vital public services like social care and the National Health Service. And those engines of opportunity, our schools and our colleges, we will give them the funding they need. The Scottish people are facing a crucial choice in this election. The Tories are trying to use Brexit to turn Britain into a low-wage tax haven run in the interests of the powerful. Labour will negotiate a Brexit that will build on the gains won for workers, consumers and the environment in the European Union. We will put jobs, living standards and human rights first. Friends, this is a general election. It's not a referendum. And only Labour can form a government and offer an alternative that will transform the lives of people in Scotland. The truth is that the Tories and the SNP are obsessed with their power struggles against Brussels and Westminster when the energy should be used to change and transform our economy to ensure that no one and no community is left behind. The Tories, well, they're Tories. They will always seek to undermine, dilute, or simply eliminate all the gains that we won. That's who they are, and that's what they do. They act for the powerful, and the powerful back them. That's what we are up against. That's what our predecessors were up against. It never stopped them, and it won't stop us. Much of the media and their friends in the establishment are saying this election is a foregone conclusion. They think there are rules in politics, which if you don't follow them, you don't win. You start by doffing your cap to the powerful people, accepting their parameters, so nothing can really change. Comrades, it's when you start accepting the parameters laid down by others, you can't really win. You have to challenge. Our movement knows it. It's only by us standing together as the people, for the many, not the powerful few, that we really win. Only Labour has the policies that will challenge these powerful interests and transform the lives of working people. And let us remember that the only real progressive alliance is the Labour and trade union movement working together, as it's always been, and so far as I'm concerned, always will be. That's why Labour is campaigning to win in every seat across the whole country. The deal we'll do with the electorate is to be the government for the many, not the few. The truth is that politics and policies of Labour are needed now more than ever as our country becomes more unfair, more unjust and more unequal. In Scotland, 260,000 children, 40,000 more than a year ago, are living in poverty. Health inequality stubbornly exists. Take a bus ride across any major city in Scotland or indeed any other part of Britain and you will life in retirement. Only Labour will protect pensions. We will make sure public spending will be used to force a change for good in working environments, conditions, equal opportunities and fair pay, using the power of public procurement in local government and central government to force better working conditions in all those companies that are benefiting from public service contracts. I think it's a power we should use. So we will ensure that no company wins a public contract if they avoid or evade taxes, don't pay their local suppliers on time, or refuse to recognise trade unions. This will benefit Scottish workers and the small businesses across the country currently contracted by the UK government to the tune of billions of pounds. We will create a Scottish National Bank under Scottish control and backed by the National Investment Bank with £20 billion of lending power to deliver the funds to local projects and small businesses, creating work and stimulating the economy. We will aggressively take on the tax avoiders and evaders, starting with making corporations publish the entirety of their tax returns. We will ban zero-hours contracts, giving new protections. Giving new protections to 60,000 workers, guaranteed with no hours at the moment. How can people possibly plan their lives, pay their rent, if they have no security of income? Is it right that so many people wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is reach for their phone to check if any texts have come in, not the nice texts we receive from friends, from family, or people wishing us well and so on, but to find out if they've got any work that day or not? It's not a right or fair way of treating people. We will end zero-hours contracts once and for all. And when injustices are historic and have occurred some while ago, it does not diminish the reality of that injustice or the hurt that was suffered. So, we will set up inquiries into blacklisting and into Orgreave. And we will urge the Scottish Government to set up an inquiry into the actions of the police during the miners' strike in Scotland. We will give all workers equal rights from day one to stop some workers being exploited and others being undercut. You know how that system works as well as I do. And we will introduce a right to own, giving workers first refusal when their company faces a change of ownership or closure. I think those are important rights. So the contribution, the skills and the commitment of workers to their companies will be recognised when there is a crisis in that company. Too often, it's the skills that are not recognised and the wisdom that is lost as the doors are closed once and for all. We want an opportunity for workers to take over those companies as a point of first refusal. We'll probably fund the Health and Safety Executive, which has been shamefully cut back under this government, compromising those great gains that our movement has historically fought for when we gained the Health and Safety and Welfare at Work Act in 1974. And we'll work with trade unions and industry to reintroduce sectoral collective bargaining across the whole of the country. And we will also introduce 4 new public holidays, giving people the time to lead better and more fulfilling lives, actually helping productivity at the same time. And we will ask for the support of the governments of Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland so the same 4 holidays can be enjoyed across the whole of the United Kingdom. Our aim is a country where everyone who can has the dignity of work, and where everyone has a guarantee of dignity at work. These are the type of transformative policies that can change people's lives for the better. Just like it's always been, only Labour will deliver for working people, small businesses and our most vulnerable people. None of the rest would even think of these type of policies, let alone achieve them. It's only Labour that will focus on the kind of country we need after Brexit. In the coming weeks, we're going to lay out more of our policies that are designed to unlock opportunities for every single person in this country. We'll focus on giving people real control over their own lives and make sure that everybody reaps a just reward for the work they do. We will no longer allow those at the top to leech off those who bust their guts on zero-hours contracts and forced to make sacrifices to pay their mortgage or their rent. Instead of the country's wealth being hidden in tax havens, we will put it in the hands of the people of Britain because they are the ones who earned it in the first place. In this election, Labour will lead the movement to make that change. We will build a new economy worthy of the 21st century and build a country for the many, not the few. Thank you very much indeed for having me here today.
It's very clear that that was a very uplifting message for the trade union movement as we move forward. And on your behalf, I'm actually going to give Jeremy this talisman that he's going to carry about with him throughout the campaign, and hopefully it will bring him luck. Thank you.
Let's see what it is.
It's just a pen. It's not anything particular. You could sign your executive order or something like that.
How do we open this?
I don't know. There you go. It's just a pen.
Ah.
He can sign his executive orders with it.
Sign away the Trade Union Act, all right? Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. We'll be seeing each other a lot, I'm sure, and I'm really, really grateful for you inviting me here today. It's absolutely wonderful to be here and wonderful to talk with you at other times as well. That's where we get our inspiration from, talking to each other, being inspired by each other's sacrifices and each other's knowledge. Thanks a lot.